तो लाइक कर दो, सब्सक्राइब कर दो और वो बेल नोटिफिकेशन है उसको ऑन कर दो ताकि आप भी मेरी तरह ड्राइंग बना पाओ. Wakanda Forever is releasing today, and are you going to watch this movie today, tomorrow, or this Sunday? I'm going to watch this movie after just I will upload this video, and I'm literally excited for this movie. And I'm just missing Chadwick Boseman. Yaar, what a person he was. Rest in peace. In my language, we all say that Om Shanti to Chadwick Boseman. And let's just start this tutorial. But before that, Kem Chomanli Mojmane, and today's our sketch will be Black Panthers, this artist that have made this Black Panthers main portrait, or what I can say is that edited version was too awesome. I was checking out literally some of the reference pictures from internet, from Instagram post for Black Panthers sketch I was making, but this sketch was literally awesome, so I just decided for this sketch. And the courtesy of this photo, I will just remind you that it is someone else's art, and the main caption of this photo will be too great for me. And next things that we are going to start is, the first thing we should focus on is that which technique we are going to use. So which techniques are there are a lot of their techniques, but we all know that I always use grid technique, and that is the best thing that I can use because I don't know the direct techniques. Literally, I'm just kidding. I have not tried the direct techniques. Once I tried 1 or 2 months ago when I sketched my first tutorial with a direct technique, and one eye was 1 centimeter and the next eye was 1.5 centimeter, and that day I decided that I will always use grid technique. And the dimension of this portrait of Black Panther's portrait is 16 boxes vertical and 10 boxes horizontal. One box is equal to 1.5 centimeter. So you can use this dimension to make the grid. And if you don't know how to make grids, how to apply those details, how to apply a picture, how to apply those graphs on your picture, I have uploaded a complete tutorial for that, and it will be on the how to playlist in my channel. You can check out the playlist how to. The next thing is that which pencils we are going to use for this portrait. And as I always say that if you are going for skin texture or skin related things, so I always recommend that use graphite pencils, because there are lakhs of so many type of grades, like 2H, which is the lightest one, then 12B, 10B, which is the darkest one. So you can have those many type of details, like if someone's skin texture is light, then you can go for 2 or 2H or 3B, 2B. But if you are using a charcoal pencil, I always recommend that use charcoal pencil on the parts which are completely dark, or like costumes, like ornaments if someone is wearing. And this is the Black Panthers, and the main costume of Black Panther is most of 90% is dark, so we are going to use a charcoal pencil. And there are 3 type of charcoal pencils: hard, medium, and the softest one. So softer charcoal pencils are the completely dark, and the hard charcoal pencils are a little bit lighter. If you don't know how to sharpen your charcoal pencils, I have uploaded a complete tutorial how to sharpen your charcoal pencils, as sharpening a charcoal pencil can be a headache because your main nib will be a main disaster if you are sharpening your nibs or your charcoal pencil with the stationary sharpener, because it will break easily. After 2 or 3 strokes it will break. And the main thing is that you have to use blades or some type of different things to sharpen your charcoal pencil, and I have uploaded a complete tutorial, you can go and check out. And after sharpening your charcoal pencils, next thing you should focus is go for 1 or 2 boxes. And why I'm telling you 1 or 2 boxes, because in my previous videos I always told you that go for 3 or 4 boxes. You can go for 3 or 4 boxes, but in this tutorial I'm telling you that go for 1 or 2 boxes. And the main reason is that ornaments, costumes, or some things like someone is wearing have so many of the details. It is not a completely white part, not completely black part, but smaller details are there, so many smaller details, and to make those smaller details visible you have to give time. And if you will go for 3 or 4 boxes, you will lose details, and when you will lose details your sketch will look completely horrible. And so for that thing I'm telling you that sharpen your charcoal pencils after 5 or 6 strokes so that you have a complete pinpoint. For the mechanical pencils you always have a pinpoint, right? But for the graphite pencils also you have a pinpoint after you will sharpen them. But while sharpening your charcoal pencil it can be a headache, because after 5 or 6 strokes charcoal pencils just lose their pinpoints, and for that reason always sharpen your charcoal pencils after 5 or 6 strokes. Now next thing we are going to focus is that for one box, if you will see that some parts are going downwards, some parts are going upwards, you have to make outlines. And in my portraits like skin texture or any type of facial like nose, eyes and their lips and this type of things, I always say that don't make outlines, just shade your outlines. It will make your sketches look more beautiful. But for this type of things like Black Panther suit, there are so many type of details, so after shading you cannot have so much of details. As I am using a A4 size paper, applying so many details is not practically possible because it is just 1.5 centimeter. And if you can zoom out the picture of this portrait that I am using, a reference picture, there are so many type of details, like one line is going downwards, one line is going upwards, smaller to smaller pores are there. And so for that thing, for making this type of so many type of details, I will recommend that make outlines first and then shades the background. Then next thing we are going to focus is that, as I always say that for any part of the skin or any type of skin related things, like if you are making someone's hand or feet or face, always there is a baseline of 2H or 2B, always there is a baseline. So you have to use those pencils for making baseline. But for any type of costumes, any type of, if someone is wearing some clothes or any type of things, like if you can take the example of this portrait only, if some part is visible that it is completely white, leave it as it is. Don't sharpen, don't make outlines, don't make it or shade in a gray parts, or you don't have to use 2H or 2B pencils. If you see some parts are completely white, leave them as it is. So I'm talking about the stripes of Black Panther suits. Those visible lights are completely white, so leave them as it is. But for that thing, make outlines first. Outlines are the most important thing if you are making any type of costumes or any type of clothes. And this Black Panther suits is having so many details that if you will miss 3 or 4 details, your sketch will look a little bit weird. Not completely weird, but a little bit weird. So next thing we are going to focus is that after making outlines, I will also remind you again that use one box at a time. After making outlines, next thing is that use a medium charcoal pencil, or you can also use a hard charcoal pencil for little bit of shadings. Like if some parts, if you can focus on the front face of this portrait, there is little bit of grayish look, and the grayish look is coming from the light source. As light source is on the right hand side and the back side also, the light source is making the black part of Black Panther's black color suit into little bit of grayish look. So for that thing, if you want that gray part into little bit lighter parts, or if you want to make those grayish parts, use a tissue for blending. But before that, use hard charcoal pencil and shade that parts which are little bit more grayish. I am telling you that using a hard charcoal pencil, you should not use the hard charcoal pencil completely with the pressurizing your pencils. Use in a light hand pencils, as the hard charcoal pencil are a little bit lighter, not as compared to soft charcoal pencil, which is the completely darkest one. So after shading little bit of darker looks with hard charcoal pencil, next thing will be that use your tissue to blend those parts which are in gray color. I'm not talking about the parts which are completely dark. I'm talking about parts which are a little bit of grayish, like front face of the Black Panther suit and backside part of the face, or you can also say that suit. So after blending them with a tissue. Next thing you should focus is that use soft charcoal pencil. And if some parts are having completely dark look, like the center part of the face, you can see that it is completely dark. So if you see some parts are completely dark, just use soft charcoal pencil. You don't have to blend them, you don't have to use tissue or any type of thing. Don't use tissue for blending a darker parts, okay, because it will just remove the dust or the darker look. It will give you a grayish look. So next thing will be that use soft charcoal pencil for the darker looks. And if you see some parts are having a completely dark thing, but for the center part, if you see some pores like small dots, if you can focus that, there are parts which are having designs. Like if you can focus on the center part, there are designs, and for in between those design there are layer bit of whiter pores. So to make those whiter pores, use your pen, which is white pen. I have purchased it on from the Flipkart. You can also purchase it from anywhere else. Those are the useful things, because to have those whiter dots on your sketches, and using your mono eraser is a bit more tougher, because using mono eraser you can have a grayish look but not a completely white look. So it is helpful for those whiter smaller pores. Now next thing will be that those whiter lines which are the designs or in above part of the ears, those are the layer bit more design type of looks. So for that thing, just completely shade those darker looks and use your mono eraser to create those wider smaller lines. And we will discuss more about this making outlines and darker looks in second and third tutorial. But before that, you comment down below if you have any question and queries regarding this tutorial. I will see you in the next tutorial. It will be uploaded tomorrow. So bye bye.